Hey everybody!
Hello.
Hey guys! This is MaJeliv. We're the Vasquez family. I'm Matthew.
I'm Jemmy.
I'm Joshua.
I'm Jose.
And today we are reacting to the official trailer of Superman.
Ooh.
This is a 3-minute trailer, exactly 3 minutes.
Wow.
Which is a pretty long trailer for a
satisfying
movie
that they
these
got
days.
3 minutes.
But it has, at the time of watching it, 6.8 million views. So
Wow.
clearly people are very excited and
Within
interested in
9
this
hours.
movie. Superman means a lot to a lot of people. For those of you that are regulars on our channel, you'll notice that our mom is missing. Our mom,
She's
his wife.
in the frame.
She's in the frame.
She's
off
missing
camera.
in the frame,
Yes.
but she is here.
She's here with us, but she's not feeling good. She's feeling under the weather. So
Yeah.
if you guys could just give some love to MaJeliv Mom in the comments. But yes, she wanted to join us, but she's sitting out of this one. But she's excited for this movie too. And yeah, we are very eager to jump on in, see what this movie's got for us, and any new things that we learn about this new version of Superman brought to us by James Gunn. So we're looking forward to it. Thank you for joining us. Stay tuned for after our reaction to also hear about our new MaJeliv Insider Community. So stay tuned for that. But I've talked enough. Let's jump into this official trailer. Here we go.
Are you being serious right now?
Yeah,
You'd let me interview you as Superman.
sure.
Ready?
Let's do it, Cronkite.
Superman.
Miss Lane.
Oh my gosh.
Whoa.
You've come under a lot of fire for what some
it's a
might.
lot of
It's
fire,
it's a
but-
lot. Today, the Secretary of Defense said he was going to look into your actions. That's funny.
My actions? I stopped a war.
Maybe.
Not maybe. I did.
In effect, you illegally entered a country.
This is how you're gonna be?
I'm not the one being interviewed, Superman.
Huh.
Did you consult with the president?
No.
You seemingly acting as a representative of
I
the
wasn't
United States
representing
will cause
anybody
more
except for me.
problems around the world.
And
More.
doing good.
I would question myself in the same situation and consider the consequences.
People were going to die.
Wow.
Oh.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Oh
my
goodness.
He looks great, man.
Come on.
Whoa. What?
Your choices, your actions. That's what makes you who you are.
Oh
The
man.
music
Wow,
of this movie,
man.
bro.
He's not
Wow.
a man. He's an it. Somehow become the focal point of the entire world's conversations. I
Oh
will
my
not
goodness.
accept that.
I cleaned you, but I'll go get him for you.
Oh.
This is
What?
remarkable, man. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, man.
You have a dog?
I love that he has a dog.
Crypto.
Oh man. Dang.
Dang.
Oh.
It's a lot, man. All right, so for those of you that are new with us, one, again, welcome. But Dad, we'll start with you. How are you? Obviously, we got a lot more than we did in the teaser, more story stuff. The thing that's standing out most to me right now is the fact that Lois knows Clark is Superman. So that's interesting that, you know, they're choosing to go right in with that. But yeah, how are you feeling, Dad, about all this?
It feels so new. It feels very James Gunn, in that there's a lightness, there's a sincerity to. There's a breaking of the stereotypical Superman-esque feel that we know, right? Well, Christopher Reeve was Christopher Reeve, and he was very And again, this is very soon because it's just an official trailer. Once we see the movie, we'll get the full dichotomy of Clark Kent and then who is Kal-El, right? When he is being very just genuine. He seems very noble, but also there's an ambition there to take matters into his own hands. He's probably frustrated with the world. So there's an interesting characterization here that I'm very intrigued by. James Gunn has a way of being very honest with his characters. You look at some of the films that we've seen. I never really got to see Peacemaker, but even just some of the trailers and some of the episodes that I have been able to see, there's a sincerity to them, even when there's jokes, right? When there's a lightness and humor behind it. So that I get a sense of here. But it feels a lot more like a comic book, which I'm sure comic book fan nerds are just like, yes, finally, right? Because it's been so long. And even the Christopher Reeve movies, they didn't feel as comic book driven. Those were very, very film centric. And Christopher Reeve is Christopher Reeve. He's an elite all on his own. And then you look at Zack Snyder's, Man of Steel, Henry Cavill. It's again very much a different stylized version. This not only feels very James Gunn-esque, but it's just very Superman. It seems to go back to the simplicity of who he is, and yet there's something very contemporary. There's something very modern to. You get these glimpses of like social media, people posing for the phone, and the pressures of the world misreading what you're doing, and so I love. There seems to be the implication that Superman will be dealing with the world as is, which is a very different world than the Superman who was dealing with newspapers only, and then later on newspapers and TV news. But in this world, this looks very, very interesting. And then of course the scene with Lois, where she's interviewing him, obviously he puts her at edge, and there again sincerity there, because if anyone can put you on edge is the one that you love. Someone that can push you to the edge and get under your skin is someone you absolutely love and you've opened yourself up to. And here she is, like, just being a reporter and making him feel like, why are you asking me all these questions? I thought you were kind of on my side. So all of that is just looking really, really strong, really, really good.
It's good conflict.
Yes. The newness of it. There's characters there that I don't know. I never followed the comics, so I'm curious to learn more about some of the other heroes you see, the villains, the big monsters, things like that. We haven't really seen that in a Superman movie outside of like Doomsday. There hasn't been like a big old monster type of thing. So that is going to be new for me, and I'm excited for all of it. Very, very excited for all of it.
We're going to see Superman go through things that we haven't necessarily seen him go through in movies. I also think again the addition of other superheroes that we've never met before that we're going to meet in this movie are going to contrast against who Clark Kent is, who Superman is, and what makes him such a threat to the Lex Luthors of the world. I think that's a very interesting thing, especially if he's just from what we're getting so far, very, very old school, and the family dynamics, right? His family values and where he comes from, and going to the city. There's a lot to him. Even just like on a socioeconomic level, like what he comes from, right? His upbringing to now who he's becoming and who he is in Metropolis, in the city. What does that look like? I think it's very interesting. Like you said, Dad, having a character like Superman in modern day, even though he's from this time, there's this element a little bit that reminds me of like a Captain America, right? Where the things he stands for may be seen as outdated, right? So that's fascinating. And I know James Gunn talked about that. How do you get a character like Superman and adapt him to these times? So
how do you keep him timeless, right, as a superhero? I'm fascinated about the Lois Lane and Clark Kent dynamic as to how that's going to unfold. I wonder if right off the bat she already knows, or when she finds out it's a quicker discovery. I just think naturally because of who Lois Lane is, of her wanting to, get the full picture. I'm curious to see how they're going to take on her character in this movie, and how her seemingly to find out pretty early on who he is, how that'll affect their relationship, but then also with him as a superhero. So I'm looking forward to that for sure.
And I would add on, I feel like, especially the aspect of Lex Luthor, him as a villain, that actor especially is
Nicholas Hoult.
sensational. Nicholas Hoult, yes. The way that he's just living and breathing. I think the dynamic of having someone that is truly out to get you, especially when there's other heroes that are there in the way, if you will. Like, what about Superman specifically gets on Lex Luthor's nerves, right? Especially since there's so many other things that threaten or irritate what he might have planned. But what is it about Superman as a hero, as a thing, as these people were talking about in the trailer? He's not a man, he's an it. That whole dynamic is very, very interesting because it starts to play with the whole Batman and Joker, like these villains that, like, they're not alter egos, no, they're arch like they're nemesis, is like they're almost designed against each other.
That's because they may have similarities.
Exactly, because they might have some similarities in their behaviors, in the ways that they exist and live, and what they want, what they don't have, what they do have. So that is very, very interesting to me, and I'm looking forward to that, and also the variety of shots of how we see Superman fly, the way that he goes, "Hey, buddy, up here." He flies up and we follow him. There's a comedy to it. There's a creative spark as well. It's not like, again, Man of Steel at the time, those zoom in CGI shots and zooming out. I know that those are like tricks of the eye to make the CGI more believable and to add scale. And it's very difficult to do. But for this team here to be trying something new where you're following him along, almost Top Gun style, but also very cartoonish, and it's just a lot more personal to Superman. And it's makes it more tangible, just the way that he is.
You're truly able to follow his character in a more personal way in all different aspects.
Right. So, and just to be able to see that on the big screen, I think there's a huge promise of a theatrical experience. Sounds, music, my goodness, the music of this trailer, it's sounding very, very promising. So there's just on all levels.
And again, I have to say, the element of other superheroes, this isn't a world where a being with certain powers is like something new. Like, there are people that live in this world that have powers that are clearly in, like Dad said, they have media presence. I'm sure they're getting news coverage. So the idea of a super being, a superhuman, a superhero, is not something uncommon. So what makes Superman stand out? I can't wait to see that, like how the world reacts to who he is, and how he also inspires and affects the other superheroes, how they may feel about him, the relationships that he starts to build with them, all of that. I think that's such an important part of the character as well. It's something that, again, we haven't seen before, because he's always been, especially more recently with Zack Snyder, it's like this thing from space, right? This thing that we don't know if we can trust.
Like a god.
And then, right, and then even with the Christopher Reeves, like, there's this element of he's the only one we really know has this ability. So
there's a way to go about it, but there's a scene when that guy's going down to help him out of the rubble, and like that little kid putting up the flag. Like, Superman is the people's superhero. He's not this unattainable, distant thing. He's this person that everyone feels like they can reach out to, and he'll be there to help them. So that pressure, that like the role that he has, that he's stepping into, it's so exciting. I think it's very, very exciting.
Someone tell me, and it'll be here before we know it. But it's definitely a lot that we've seen, though. I don't know if I want to see any more.
Yeah, I'm good.
For sure. But visually, it looks great. And yeah, we want to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. So definitely meet us down below. Let us know your thoughts on this, how you're feeling about this movie, what Superman means to you, maybe some Easter eggs and characters that we missed that are important to note and know going into this movie. Because again, there's a lot going on here. But it's all very, very exciting stuff. So again, meet us in the comments. And again, like we mentioned earlier, we do have a new MaJeliv Insider Community, which we are very excited about. We've been working hard for the last couple weeks and months, really, getting this thing going. We wanted to build a space, a community for people, like-minded individuals, to gather together that are passionate about MaJeliv and what we're doing here, as well as living life more authentically and intentionally, as well as how we reflect and participate with the art that we're experiencing, not just mindlessly consuming it. So that's the whole vision for this community in short. But if you want to dive deeper into details and learn more about it and are interested in joining the MaJeliv Insider Community, definitely check out the information in the description if you're interested. But regardless, you being here today with us means a lot. So thank you. Go out there, spread your light, and we'll see you in the next MaJeliv video. Have a MaJeliv day. Bye.
Bye.